two really bad calls changed the dynamic of that game, and I can still recall both of those plays. If you would like to get into that,
No, please.
prick!
Yeah, the whole world wins when Jimmy G goes to Las Vegas.
I don't hate Garoppolo.
You hate everybody that's better looking.
No, I'm the good looking one on this panel, not Jimmy Garoppolo. Me.
Lawrence's hair is second to Air Bear's hair, man.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Lawrence doesn't have as much volume.
No, not at all.
Air Bear's got that California salt in it from the beach. I think he's just got swag and he's
average white guy.
got baby face.
Got
probably
some money,
like
a lot of money.
A lot of money. If Jimmy Garoppolo ever is in Carmel, Florida, you're taking him out to the town.
Yeah, 100%. I think
Cool
Jimmy
vibe.
would be a fun hang, right? He'd be a fun guy to hang out with.
Of course he would.
Dude, don't you wipe the
right?
saliva off your lips, dude.
I hate the Ravens worse than any team in the NFL.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Guys on Sports.
Guys on
Today,
sports.
You're probably wondering the height of the panel is different.
Wondering.
Yes.
It's increased.
We've
It's
gone up by half a foot.
The
We're
average.
taller.
Phil right now is probably getting ready to cry when his team loses to the Devils
Both
today.
of his teams
Yes.
lose tonight.
You know, of all the people that are on the show, Phil's probably the flakiest. I'd say he's never here.
Oh,
I'd say he's
Yeah.
never here.
Yeah, he is very inconsistent.
Yeah.
He's coming for the jugular.
But
He's inconsistent with his attendance.
We-
How would you go for the jugular on Phil? Would you have to bend down?
I'd probably
Would
just put like a
take a knee?
shiv on my knee and do a high knee.
Yeah, he might.
Oh, Heine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, or in the high knee.
Yeah. That seems like it's mutually beneficial for the two of you, though.
I have control of the board today. You'll be
You
hearing
do.
a lot of fun things, especially if you're an audio-only listener. We have a great show for you planned today. We're finishing the mini-series of Fantasy Outlook. Today, we're doing the AFC West, so tune in for that. We're also picking the over and under for all four of those teams. And we'll probably, bullshit along the way. That's cursing in the first 2 minutes. I should probably not do
But
that.
you're already doing a
No,
fantastic
That's not really considered cursing, is it?
Yeah, I just haven't, I can't say the F word.
Yeah.
Juki. You're doing a fantastic Phil impression with the voice crack and everything. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like spot on, man. Spot on.
Thanks.
All right, so I guess without further ado, we should just go into our fantasy segment, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I have TikTok Take. Usually Phil pitches that to me.
Yes, he
so I
does.
have to remember to do it myself.
Tick.
Pitch it to yourself.
Tock.
How would you do it? If you had to pitch it to-
Zach, why don't you go with that TikTok Take? And then I go, thanks, Phil. Today we're going to be going to Shiesty.trip on TikTok.
Shiesty.trip.
Shiesty.trip said, this was in regards to Mark. Mark said that Kenneth Walker is going to show his ass this year,
Boom.
which I guess interpret that as you will. Shiesty.trip said he's going to show what? Question
Yeah.
mark. So can you explain to the
Yeah.
people what Kenneth Walker's ass to the world means?
Showing his ass. So basically, he's going to do everything under the sun, including dropping his drawers just to show you what he's about. He's going to show his ass.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, I'm still not clear, actually. I don't still know what that means.
A better context is like when you're acting a fool, right? And it's called showing your ass because you've basically humiliated yourself to the point where you may as well just show your ass. But he's not. What he's going to do is he's going to humiliate the NFL when he shows his ass.
Okay, so it's a good...
And they're going to try to plug it. They're going to try to stick a finger in there, and he's going to be like, no, you're not fast enough. Boom, touchdown. They're going to be like, oh, finger in the ass celebration for this
So it's a
touchdown. He's gonna-
positive.
I feel
It's a positive.
more confused than I did 2 minutes ago.
That's
I think
on you.
Kenneth Walker feels violated by your hate speech.
Hey, that's K9
You know what?
for your information.
K9.
Get his
It's
nickname right.
2023. I think K9's down with it.
The second comment could be from Jordan Reed himself, like the Washington Redskins tight end at the
That'd be
time.
great.
J_Reed_. This was a comment on my top 12 tight ends, which did pretty well.
Is it certified?
No, it's not.
Shit, then it's not him.
Yeah, but I could hope. It got a lot of likes, and it's the only one that I didn't stitch an actual clip to for a response. And they talked about, they said, I'm convinced Pitts could put up a 400 yards and -1 touchdown season, and people would still put him in a top 10.
Yeah. People are all over the place about Pitts.
I put him at 7. The reason I put him at 7 is because
Because you're an idiot. And
It's
you
the
didn't put
last-
him where he belonged at 3.
Okay, wow.
Pitts is your Drake London.
This is the last time that I'm putting Kyle Pitts in a top whatever list for for no justifiable reason. If it doesn't happen this year, I don't care if it happens next year. I'm not putting him in the list.
Here's what pisses me off about this. Kyle Pitts had the greatest rookie tight end season in 30 years.
Yes.
And he
1,000 yards.
more than Kelsey had at this time, which I said to people on TikTok. But that top 12 list is not like who I like in fantasy. It's who I think will be in the top 12 at the end of the year. And I think Pitts at 7 is me not picking any side.
Well, people are bullish
that.
on him because he's. You look at the tight end position. You know, Kelsey kind of changed the game, right? So you looked at the tight end position as being TD dependent, right?
Yeah.
Kelsey changed that game because Kelsey's like, you know what, I'm going to go out and get 8 grabs for 120 yards and still put up some TDs. So Kyle Pitts is not your TD machine, but he is definitely a target whore. He, with good quarterback play, like he did his rookie season, will get you completions and yardage. Now you need consistent quarterback play.
Which I don't know if they'll be getting this year. I mean, honestly, we haven't been talking about how the Falcons have Desmond Ritter, which
I think
we
he's
have been
better
talking
than
about.
people think, honestly.
But Taylor Heineke could take that starting role.
Yeah.
And I think Taylor Heineke elevates the Falcons' catch passers a whole lot more. And we haven't mentioned that the last few
Well, yeah, because he's a
episodes.
goddamn gunslinger.
Yeah.
yeah, and he's also somebody who likes to throw underneath to his running backs and his tight ends. He can throw deep, but he's also very comfortable working with his tight ends and running backs.
I'm comfortable working with tight ends too.
Well, on that note, we'll jump right into Mark's fantasy section of the show, where we're doing the AFC West breakdown. I guess we'll just kick it off with the person on the farthest left. Rocky, you got the Chiefs. Any players you like? Any players you don't like? Who should we target?
Yeah, I mean, do we have to say Patrick Mahomes?
You don't.
Who? You don't. Yeah. So let's get now. What is shocking
Is that Brittany's husband?
who is behind Patrick Mahomes?
It's not a. Wasn't Penny there for a while?
Brittany with a strap on.
He's not there anymore.
Are
you asking me, like, genuinely?
Yeah, I was like, because like I can't, like, I was looking at it and I'm thinking, it's Shane Buechele, right?
Oh, you have. That wasn't a rhetorical question.
He's a free agent, and Chad Henne, who retired.
Oh, it's Blaine Gabbert,
Okay, Blaine Gabbert.
who was backing up the GOAT in Tampa,
Yeah.
but is now backing up the GOAT in Missouri.
Blaine Gabbert's backed
So-
up everybody.
Anyways, Patrick Mahomes, of course. As far as the running backs, I kind of like them both for different reasons. I think Pacheco really kind of showed out, and he seems like he's going to be mixed in more and more this year.
Yes.
And I think, I don't know if you both agree with that, but I do feel pretty strong. He is better than I thought he was going to be coming out.
Yes.
I'll tell you this: the guy runs like a goddamn lunatic.
Yes, like a gun, like a bullet out of a gun.
He looks like he is how you would want to see somebody drafted that low run. I need to earn my spot. I need to earn my
He's
keep.
a day 3 pick, and he runs like it.
Man, he runs with a full head of steam. That guy.
Yeah. But I don't hate CEH.
I
Like,
do. CEH is awful.
I think depending on where you're able to get him, I think if he falls to the proper round,
On the free agent wire.
I don't think he's a terrible pick. But I do think the pick to grab is Isaiah.
I'll offer pushback. The only reason why CH isn't touchable for me in fantasy is because the Chiefs, let alone, don't really dedicate to a run game as much as you would want them to. They do more than the Bills do, but the Chiefs and Pacheco were a nice surprise because you didn't expect them to use Pacheco like they did. CH has shown that his talent and health can't really be there. And for Pacheco to do well like I expect him to, I almost think like CH is not there. He doesn't do what Jerick McKinnon does.
So
Jerick McKinnon is on the team, so what is CH doing there?
Here's the telltale factor: Mahomes has been in the league how many years?
6 now?
This is 5 or 6, right?
Yeah.
6. Name one dominant running back that he's had.
Maybe Pacheco.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he's been the most consistent at least.
Damian Williams had a great postseason,
Yeah.
but was
Yep.
never
Couple 100-yard games.
anything in the regular season.
Yeah.
And he's not had consistent running back play. Why? Because they don't need it.
Yeah.
All right. All they got to do is bring up who's next, who's going to catch underneath passes when he's not able to hit his open receivers. And let's face it, this guy has been working last year, especially outside of his tight end. He's kind of working with some shit, right?
I was going to say they don't have anything right now.
I mean, you're going to say Juju
Who is it with
was
the
a
team?
monster. You're going to say that Mecole Hardman was a monster. You're going to say that Justin Watson was a monster. Screw you. I don't care what your comments look like this week. Mahomes did more with less.
Yes,
and
he did.
You want to talk about Aaron Rodgers crying that he doesn't have anybody? At least Aaron Rodgers every year has a solidified wide receiver one for crying out loud.
I think Mahomes made MVS and Juju look a lot better than what they truly are. Yeah. And that kind of leads into the wide receivers. What do you guys feel? I feel strong about, believe it or not, Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore. I think both of them will have decent seasons this year.
Well, let's face it, they have to.
Yes.
You know another Giants wide receiver that is now on the Chiefs? Richie James.
Yeah.
Apparently is on roster. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Breaking news for me as well. But Richie James could not be a bad pickup or at least a waiver wire
consistent
target.
Receiver. Yeah.
If there's something Andy Reid does well, and I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to give Andy Reid a lot of credit because I can't fucking stand him.
One of the greatest coaches.
Why can't you stand Andy Reid?
Because he has Eagles background. That's why. If you want to know the guy's honest truth, anybody that has Hunter Green in their history is already, take them off my goddamn list. I don't care. Even if they were a Bear. Alshon Jeffrey.
Hey, he said he was going to win a Super Bowl the next year. He did.
Go sit on a carrot.
Wow. Yeah.
I think that I think Kansas City. I think they have to perform well.
Yep.
And what Andy Reid does well is he always brings in those guys that are going to be super serviceable to get the job done.
Yeah.
He just needs some guys that'll work themselves open for Mahomes to be able to make a play and get the ball in their hands. And I think Sky Moore is getting fantastic value right now. And if my computer wasn't dead, I would start bringing up some facts as to where they go. But Sky Moore is in your very late rounds.
Yeah, he is.
Kadarius Toney he's starting to go. He's mid-round. He's probably around like 10 to 13-ish.
Yeah.
Going, but
no way.
Yeah, way. And I think honestly, I don't think they're far-fetched, man. I think they're gonna have good seasons.
I think that I think that both of them have more speed than Juju. And I think that they fit that mold of what Juju did last year really well, especially down the stretch and especially in the Super Bowl, where he absolutely throttled the Eagles. Caught everything.
Okay.
Caught everything.
Really. Yeah. What were the Browns doing besides covering Watson's dirty tracks?
You know what they were doing? They were winning as many championships last year as the Eagles were.
Well,
it's a good point. Anyways, I do think Kadarius Toney.
That was not the button I wanted to press.
It's okay, button.
I have a question for you guys though. So, is there
no Eagle slant?
Is there a Chiefs wide receiver that you're drafting in redraft leagues? I am not. I don't think there's anyone I can confidently draft that's going to have the target percentage that'll be on the field for the entire game, that won't be intermingled because of game plan.
I mean, not a receiver, but maybe a tight end.
Oh yeah, Travis Kelce should be the
maybe a tight end.
Yeah,
maybe a tight end.
Maybe a tight end.
But I mean,
Travis
listen,
Kelce.
he is. I mean, what is he? 40? I mean, he's 33.
What is he, 40?
At some point, he has to start showing his age.
Does he?
Next year.
I don't know, man. It's not next year.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's this year.
I thought it might have been this past year, but he shut me up.
No,
he's not doing it with. The thing about Travis is he doesn't do it with speed only. He's okay. He's got some speed. He's got superior route running, and he knows where to be, and he knows where Patrick wants him to be.
I mean, he's no in the athleticism department. He's no Mike Gesicki, but he's.
But who is? I mean, who is?
Yeah, who could fail that bad?
Yeah, maybe Kyle Pitts.
What I will tell you, we all know that I play multiple formats of fantasy football, and I'm going to have a lot of breakdown for you guys this year in all the different formats. But when you talk about redraft and best ball, 100% I'm stashing some guys that have potential pop factor, right? So what pop factor is you want to stash them on your bench, and guess what? 1 week they're going to go off. They're going to go off for 5 receptions for 140 yards and a touchdown or two, right? So for me, Kadarius Toney is that guy because Kadarius Toney is just an amazing athlete. And
he's a joystick. He's a human joystick who did it with the Giants before he got hurt.
Yeah.
He had 2 of the best games a rookie ever had prior to getting hurt and prior to getting traded.
So you would draft Toney?
I would.
But is this in a deep league, like in your typical
because in a redraft
rounds?
Different than
so this would be in like a 20 round best ball format.
Okay. Yeah.
And if Toney is gone, then I'm taking a chance on Sky Moore in the last couple of rounds.
You think they draft a receiver?
in the later rounds, they're not gonna reach for one.
And I think it's a
crazy to
different
think that they
type
don't have
of
any
receiver.
receivers.
Well, I think it's a different type. Like I think if they draft a receiver, they're drafting somebody with height, like maybe a 6'2", 6'3", somebody who can really body somebody outside because neither Kadarius or Sky are overly large.
And let's face it, at the end of the second round, there's gonna be plenty to pick from there if they wanted to go that route.
It's just weird to think about how Mahomes is the best quarterback talent, at least playing next year, and there's not a receiver that we would draft in fantasy.
I think Mahomes, and I don't know, like truthfully, we talk about Burrows being an amazing quarterback. We talk about other quarterbacks being amazing, but I think Mahomes might be the only one that truly elevates the players he's with.
Yeah, because he has nothing right now.
Yeah, you can't tell me that Burrow makes Jamar bet. Listen, Chase is a freak.
Yeah.
You know, MBS. He's an okay receiver.
He was Rodgers scraps. Rodgers didn't want him.
Yeah, and he's 30 this year, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him do pretty good. So, and then the only other guy I like, I do love the potential of Justin Ross. We forget he's there.
Yeah.
He was everything coming out of college. He is big. He is quick. He did get hurt recovering from injury.
I don't think he's even, because of those reasons, I can't even look at him.
No, but I think if you're in a dynasty league with a ton of teams.
Yeah, you spend $1 on him or something.
Yes, and you stash him and you sign him maybe for 3 years and you hope that he hits gold.
You're high on this guy. This is like the third time I've heard this dude's name out of your mouth.
Speed kills for Rocky.
Yeah.
So that's those are the Chiefs. We'll go to kind of the laughingstock of the division last year being the
Let's ride.
The Denver Broncos. So I have the Denver Broncos. I would say I'm staying away from a lot of these playmakers in fantasy redrafts, dynasty, and in redraft, Javonte Williams is somebody you target if given to you at the right spot. They've been talking about his injury not being where it needs to be, and the Broncos are kind of burying that a little bit. So he might not be ready for week 1 or what you want him to be for week 1.
Well, they went out and signed Samaje too.
Yeah,
so, I mean that's
he played like Joe. He played like Joe Mixon last year. He was an efficient Joe Mixon.
Played better than Joe Mixon.
Yeah, no, he did. He really did.
Joe Mixon is.
He also didn't hit anybody.
Watch the tape and that too. So running back aside, Javonte Williams, you kind of don't really need to spend too much time on, but I would say that Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy are like the poor man's Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk in fantasy next year.
They're also poor men.
I don't.
What are you going to get out of Ridley?
Well,
we don't know yet.
I think. Okay, that's a different conversation. Go back and watch that episode, Mark. But I would say, I don't know who to target. I'll give another analogy. It's kind of like when Brandon Ayuk and Debo were like 41 and 42nd overall
that's a better
players
analogy.
Before Debo like had his monster year in 2021 and you knew what the obvious pick was. Like, I don't know which one I like more. So I think for that reason, I'm staying away from both of them. I think I do like Cortland Sutton slightly more because he seems to be
an idiot, and you have Kyle Pitts as your 15th ranked tight end.
He tends to be a little bit more dependable. Jerry Jeudy hasn't become what he was expected to be when they drafted him. Cortland Sutton gets the targets as well, but I'm not taking either one of them because I don't think either one could be what you want them to be. It's a gut feeling here.
Here's my pushback. I'm kind of all in on Denver this year. They've got nothing to lose. They've got to turn this around. They've got to turn it around fast. Russell Wilson, despite what we say and the persona that he has now, he doesn't want to be the laughing stock in the NFL. Yeah. You're talking about a guy that played in the Super Bowl. You're talking about, a decent history as a quarterback. He doesn't want to be the laughing stock. And he's still young enough to have some game. He's got phenomenal talent at wide receiver. He's got tight ends that he can work with. And the backfield, I think once Javonte comes back, I think Javonte is going to just be an absolute monster. But again, we don't know what his injury situation looks like because they did go out and they got Samaje Perine. But you're crazy, dude. They say that Jerry Jeudy is one of the best route runners in all of the NFL. They're saying that everything is so crisp. So if he and Russell can get on the same page, I mean, you're talking about a guy that could get open a lot.
I hope they're getting discounted.
The potential is there. So
if that's the case, then I might take a flyer on one of them. But
what I will tell you is that for me, Jerry Jeudy's value is one of the better values that I'm finding in these drafts right now.
It's good to know.
Jerry Jeudy is going down. Again, I wish I had this up, but like round 6, 7, 8, depending on
Okay, so
what
then
the
yes.
type of draft
So
is.
then Jerry's a draftable player at that point.
I mean, to get
Well, the only thing that's weird
Jer Bear.
that I'll push back a little bit is, but why was there so much talk about them possibly trading Jerry Jeudy? So, because we didn't hear anywhere near as much about them
For
trading
capital.
Sutton.
because nobody wants Sutton.
See, I mean, Sutton,
You don't want the not best route runner in the NFL. You want the best route runner in the NFL.
I mean, I would make an argument that honestly, they're both pretty good receivers. Sutton has 1,000-yard receiving year.
He's a high pointer.
Yeah. I mean, like neither last year both had their weeks where there were.
That's what
pretty
I don't
good.
like when I draft receivers, though.
What's
Like,
Tyler
they both-
Lockett, DK Metcalf, who
That's
like week
another
in and
good
week
example.
out, who's the guy?
Yeah.
I do agree with you
AJ
about.
Brown, Devontae Smith.
Yeah,
Wrong, but okay.
I do agree
You
with you.
don't know which one's going to pop.
Devontae Smith had like maybe 8 targets and receptions minimum a game, and AJ Brown was getting the touchdowns. Like they both were great.
I think we hit a sore spot.
I know, he's
But
going to defend them
You're
no
looking
matter
at
what.
the receptions.
What I'm saying is you don't know which one's going to pop.
Devontae
though.
Smith had the most receptions in Eagles history, and AJ Brown had the most yards in Eagles history.
So all
Pick
right,
your poison.
What I'm going to say is, you have a team that has, say, Cooper Kupp, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. You can only start 2. You're not sitting Cooper Kupp.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Smith's probably got to get the.
Yeah.
Well, what you put Cup on any? What was the point there?
The point is that you don't know which one of the 2 Eagles to start. Just like in Denver, you
I
don't
would
know
say
who to
AJ
go
Brown.
with. You don't know to go with Judy or Sutton at that
Okay,
point from that argument.
all
Is
right.
what-
Yeah.
And what I would say is that they're the poor man's AJ Brown and Devonta Smith.
Oh, it says rim shot
With
I
a
thought it
better
was gonna be
quarterback.
More
With
exciting.
with a much better quarterback
Yeah,
and a better franchise.
Sorry.
Wash Russell Wilson is better than
Hey.
Jalen Hurts, the highest paid player in NFL history.
This is all I'm saying about.
It's a joke.
Yeah, this is all I'm saying about the comeback. I do think the quarterback position will be better in Denver. I do like Sean Payton. He does know how to work with a undersized quarterback. And guess what? Russell actually can run a little bit. We knew Breeze couldn't.
Let's ride.
Yeah. And supposedly word out of camp is that Russell's come back different this year.
Yeah.
He's avoiding the media. He's avoiding all the commercials. He's in there studying. He's in there working his ass off. He doesn't want to be a joke.
He's avoiding himself.
Yeah, he's doing. He's
Out
basically
of midfield,
saying,
giving fake high fives.
yeah, he's basically saying, what would Russell do? I will do the opposite this year. And
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting. And their defense was good last year. They have playmakers on offense. Like they just need a direction. It could be interesting.
You make a case that the Broncos receivers are draftable, which I didn't think before this episode. But one, it has to be in late rounds, and I still don't know which one I'd rather take. I think
tight
you can
end.
take any one of them, honestly.
Greg Dulcich.
I actually like Dolchich.
I did too. I drafted him in a lot of leagues last year. I think
he fell off though.
he's one that
Well,
you
he
didn't
was
name
injured
in
at the
your
end of the
tight
year.
end.
Yeah, I didn't take him, but I picked the upside on Komet and Schultz being.
Cheek.
Yeah, Chigo I think is a top 10 tight end.
So Dolchich
Yeah.
he was injured at
That's
the end of the season, but I mean he completely showed up. Everybody was all over Albio's jock preseason. Albio had like 6 receptions all year long for like 74 yards, and everyone was all over his jock. Dolchich totally showed him up
Under the radar.
and it wasn't until the injury that he kind of fell off. Dolchich is not getting any respect at all in drafts, man. If you can wait. Now, caution. Do not draft him as your TE1. Do
Yeah.
not. But don't feel bad about getting him as your TE2. Don't feel bad about having to plug him in your tight end ones, bye week. I like Dolchich. And again, I think Russ.
Look at that hair, man. That
Flips
hair is
the
just
script.
something that you need to respect. Yeah, he only played in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 games last year before he got hurt.
Yeah.
And it's 10 games with a dysfunctional offense. Really, a game.
And the incumbent starter, Albio, after the backup, Dolchich, went out with injury, still couldn't perform.
Yeah.
So that's the Denver Broncos. I guess we're high on Denver in Denver this season.
I mean, how can
higher
you
than
not?
last year.
How can you not in Denver?
The next team we'll go to is
Got to get high in Denver.
Jamarcus. What say you? Chargers?
I got the Chargers. Here is what I'm saying about the Chargers. I don't fucking know, man, because I don't know what's going on with this situation. Eckler Eckler apparently wants out.
Yeah.
And Eckler is one of
Do you think
the
he really
most,
wants out, or do you think he just wants a new contract?
dude, I don't know because
He wants a new
Eckler
contract. I think he'd stay with LA.
Eckler up to this point has been one of those dudes that's like so low key and easy going. It's like, well, what the hell did they do to really offend this guy?
If something happens with Eckler where he's on a new team, when does that news happen? Are you still drafting him? Like, because your drafts might fall before news happens.
Oh,
like,
you
what
have to. Eckler going somewhere is the same as McCaffrey going somewhere.
Yeah.
You're instantly going to get that pass catching running back that's going to learn your offense quickly. This guy plays. He's multi-talented. The guy plays guitar for crying out loud. Like for fun, he takes like singing lessons. No, it just speaks to the intelligence. So he's going to be able to pick up a playbook and learn a playbook rather quickly. If he stays with the Chargers, then obviously his ceiling is very high. You know, you have to give a little bit of leeway if he ends up parting ways with the Chargers late in the offseason to where he's got a limited amount of time to learn a playbook. You know, obviously that skews it a little bit.
Come to Philly.
No matter where he goes, Eckler is going to be fantastic. Yeah. Now to the rest of the offense.
It's a big loss if he goes.
Yeah, it is. But
Isaiah Spiller, Dynasty.
Yeah, and Kelly too. And then there's talk that they're going to select Bijan. I don't see Bijan being around at 21. They're going to have to trade up to get Bijan, but there is talk that he goes there. If that's the case, I would imagine that Eckler is worked into a trade up high with somebody like
I think you're right about that.
Like Atlanta.
Yeah,
but I don't see Atlanta going in on a running back when they need a quarterback and where they're sitting because they can get a quarterback where they're sitting. So I don't necessarily foresee that happening. They could potentially trade up with Chicago if Chicago wanted to trade back, but I don't think Chicago really needs.
You guys signed
Eckler
Dante
either.
to what, like a 3-year deal as well or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, very minimal.
You're slightly committed to running backs.
And Khalil Herbert's minimal as well, but I think we have very capable backs. I don't think we need Eckler.
Yeah.
Obviously, and everyone's going to say, who doesn't need Eckler? No matter where Eckler goes, aside from San Francisco, like you're going to benefit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
But, with that being said, the wide receivers, Keenan Allen's getting a little old, but
I still like Keenan. He did great last year at the end of the season.
I mean, he still gets targets. I think this guy's going to be 80 years old and still going to average 12 targets a game.
He actually won me a Dynasty League championship.
Yeah. Keenan Allen. And
you guys lost?
Let me tell you.
But he was hurt for a lot of last year.
Yeah, well, that's what you get with Keenan Allen.
The last couple of years.
And it was a hamstring, too. It wasn't even like a lacerated kidney like it's been in the past. Like a hammy could take him out for 7 weeks.
And it's usually like every other season where he has like a catastrophic injury. You want to talk about somebody that's getting...
compared to Mike Williams, who's every year.
Yeah. You want to talk about somebody that's getting zero respect in drafts? Keenan Allen and Mike Evans, you would swear to God that the two of them murdered somebody because they have just fallen down boards.
Well,
you can get them as your wide receiver threes. I get that, but Mike Evans is still going to get his looks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Justin Air Bear being the quarterback that he is,
it's got to be injuries and injury concerns with Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Well, and they also
the fact that he's getting a little old. Then they, Mike Williams re-signed that big contract. Everybody's all over Mike Williams, Jock. And then you had Josh Palmer, who played very well last year too. I mean, you're looking at 3 really good draftable wide receivers, right, at different stages of your draft. Keenan Allen up high, Mike Williams not that far behind, and some people even take Mike Williams ahead of Keenan Allen. And then lastly, Josh Palmer. Get Josh Palmer in your later rounds, man, because there's a good chance that
one of them's getting hurt.
One of the two are getting hurt, if not both of them at some point. Yep. And let's face it, Air Bear loves to throw the ball, man.
Well, and he's proven,
just air it out.
Yeah, I hate the disrespect given to Air Bear.
So do I.
Listen, the guy's like a fantasy machine. I mean, in one of our fantasy leagues, he's gotten 568 points. Like, he was like number 2 quarterback in the entire league.
I thought you were referring to his hair because he gets no love. Yeah.
Wow.
Lawrence's hair is second to Air Bear's hair, man.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
Lawrence doesn't have as much volume.
No, not at all.
Air Bear's got that California salt in it from the beach.
Yeah, and he doesn't look like a horse.
That's
so
true.
like
that's just
an
more
added
about
bonus.
Trevor Lawrence has like mane.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence looks like the Broncos mascot. We've said it before. So
Stampede.
Stampede.
So
Stampede Lawrence.
Okay, so
Ellen DeGeneres Lawrence.
So the Chargers are pretty normal, you'd say, for the most part. Like Keenan Allen will be drafted, Herbert will be drafted.
100%. They have all kinds of draftable pieces here.
Yeah.
I'm staying. I'll be honest. Like I am staying away from Keenan this year. I think the last two have been more injured than less injured.
Yeah.
Last year he did come on and he did win you a championship.
Yeah.
But had he not, you would have absolutely hated his guts that entire year. And you held him.
Yeah.
You know, so it was smart.
I had to. I had no receivers in that league. I had I was starting what's his name? Ronald Moore.
Yeah.
From the Cardinals.
Rondale.
Rondale
Moore.
Yeah, and Jonathan
Moore.
Gannon's like, shoo, 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 explosives. It's gonna be great here. And now Buda Baker wants out.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, come to Philly. So I guess
speaking of wanting out, let's talk about the last team here.
Great segue.
And wait, we're gonna pause 5 minutes as Rocky takes a let me relieve myself break because we're gonna talk about Jimmy G and them Raiders.
Yeah, the whole world wins when Jimmy G goes to Las Vegas. You know what?
I think so. I can't argue that.
Yeah, I mean, if there's ever been a city that deserves a guy as, I mean, just shockingly good looking as Jimmy G, it's Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, those showgirls, they're not going to know what hit them.
They're not.
Like figuratively and literally.
I can guarantee you that he walks into one of those shows and all of a sudden they start tripping over one another.
you want to take that jacket off? You're getting a little hot.
100% he said to his agent, I only will go to one team. I will only go to the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, it was perfect.
It's a good fit. It's a good fit. And he's back with his old OC. Am I drafting Jimmy G? No. But am I keeping an eye on the waivers? Sure.
Yeah. Are you going to be his wingman? 100%. 100%.
Yeah,
Because
usually
you're getting some shrapnel. I mean, you're getting some like residual. You know?
you look like his uncle or something and walking around with
I'm
Jimmy
okay
G.
with that. I'm okay with that.
I usually don't like drafting a fantasy player that did really well last year and then seeing their ADP get boosted because of it.
Yeah.
For example, I'm a little hesitant on Saquon Barkley. He probably is going to be a little overdrafted, but I think Josh Jacobs is still going to be your second round. Yeah, second round, I would say. I would still take Josh Jacobs. I think the ceiling's the roof, as Michael Jordan would say.
So here's the funny thing with Josh Jacobs, which you don't often see in fantasy football. Usually, somebody goes off the next year, they're instantly in the conversation for the number 1 overall pick.
And he's not.
Josh Jacobs is still going late first, second round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting zero respect for what he did last year. And you heard it here first from this show. We were all over Josh Jacobs as your league winner and finishing in the RB3 realm. And sure as shit, he did. And this year, he has no choice but to repeat.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, I'm avoiding him everywhere. Because I'm skeptical, right? I'm that asshole. I'm the guy that's like, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he repeat? But I'm hesitant because I don't know if he can do it, right? So we kind of trick ourselves in fantasy football thinking that we know that there were anomalies, right?
Yeah.
But it comes back to bite you in the ass more often than not.
Yeah.
So here's a running back that he showed up last year, caught everything, ran everything, a lot of touchdowns. I mean, the guy went off the rails, right?
Yeah.
And that was with Derek Carr trying to still be a quarterback first. Now you got Jimmy G, who we know is not going to be quarterback
he's a
first.
system. He knows what
and more of a system game manager. To me, that screams, oh shit, we got a really good running game. We may as well look to this and then maybe look to target, Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers later.
Yeah. Do you? And that brings up my next question of: do you think Adams? You're gonna have to draft Devontae Adams where he's going to be in probably round 2, maybe even round 1.
No,
but
Adams, you have to draft in the first 10.
But
picks.
does he step back a little bit because Jacoby Myers is a pretty solid wide receiver too,
That's not true, actually.
or
He's
because
going in
of
the second round,
or because of Jimmy Garoppolo? Like, do you draft Jacoby Myers a little bit more than you would have in other leagues? Like, where do you stand on those receivers?
To me, this is really tough because I think Devontae Adams could. He's this year's Cooper Kupp. I mean, you said it last year. You're going to have to take him early, right? You're going to have to overpay if you want him, and that's it. But I can't see how he does as well as he's done in previous years because I think the offense is going to be different.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Garoppolo hasn't had. I mean, if you think of the receivers that Garoppolo's been throwing to, one, it's all been system, and two, he hasn't had like a Devontae Adams in his career.
No, he's had a Debo who he can throw quick underneath and who does stuff with the ball. And I think Devontae has that skill set, but Devontae's has been more of a field stretcher.
So how about that, though? How about now Jimmy Garoppolo, who's been historically pretty accurate, now getting a guy that runs some of the cleanest routes in the NFL and gets separation?
That's fair.
Yeah, it's the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers, though, being with his old OC, being with Jimmy Garoppolo, who can run a system well, those kind of quicker, shorter routes, them paying him like 3 years, like $40 million or something like that.
This
like,
could low-key be a lethal offense.
Well, yeah.
without Darren Waller, though, they're really strapped for nothing at tight end.
Foster Moreau, baby.
Yeah, you just got Foster Moreau, and you still got
Okay.
Hunter Renfrow at the third receiver set, who honestly, I think if we're ranking third receivers, I think he might be like maybe top 2 or 3 in the league.
He's up there.
Their offensive line will kill them, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like a bottom 25 line, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but they might to me, I think they're going to address some of that in the draft. I think that they'll probably be offensive tackle first, second round, and there's a decent run on offensive tackles this year. And that's what I like about the line is it does take a little bit of time to get up to speed for the NFL unless you're drafting high and you get one of those premier guys. You get a guy from Alabama, you get a guy from The Ohio State University,
once an episode.
the premier schools.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, let's move on to these same teams, but in a different light.
Pressing issues. What's the issue? If there's issues, we're gonna press them.
Come on down. Baby, get ready.
See why Phil does this job. It's fun pressing buttons.
It is
It
fun,
is
right?
fun, yeah.
Shapes and colors.
They
It's
used to
nice.
make fun of me before you came on the show. They used to make fun of me for wanting to do the board. Like, oh, he's fun. The shapes the board.
So you
I'm
touch
like,
the
"This shit's
board,
fun."
man.
And then Rocky would always he play like coy. I don't want the board. You take it. This is
playing hard
too
to
much
get.
responsibility.
I gave
But
up
then
the
you take
board.
it. You take it away from him. And he's like,
How much did I want? And I
where's my
gave it up.
So
I gave it up.
we mentioned this at the beginning of the show. We're going to be talking about these teams, and we're going to be picking their win totals for the year. So we'll go a little quick because we probably spent a little bit of time on fantasy. So Broncos 8.5. I have the schedule up. Do we need to go through? I think it would be fun if we just kind of pick from like off the dome, and then we can challenge somebody and say, "Oh, go through the teams."
I like that.
So Broncos 8.5. I'm going to say they win 8 games at best. I'm taking the under.
Gosh, okay.
There it is.
So now, do we disagree or we agree?
No, you
or do
can
we
you can go
ours?
through, or if you think that's kind of BS, then let's hear what you guys got to say first. Come on.
I'm going over.
For Broncos?
I think they're the second best team in this division this year.
I
That one's called Chimes.
yeah, I'm trying to think. So I think they lose to the Chiefs twice. I think they split with the Chargers and the Raiders. I think that's a great win total. Like I can't
hard to
even
pick.
though I think they're going to come back a lot. I think like a great win total that for them this year is 9 wins.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it's perfect. So I'm going to say under.
I
So
think
you're
I
saying
have
8.
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I have them at 11.
Oh my gosh, we have to go through games. That's pretty bold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're just gonna go with the home opponents first. Okay.
Okay. So these are all their home games. All right.
Yep. Chiefs,
Loss.
Chargers,
Win.
Raiders,
Win.
Packers,
Win.
Vikings,
Win.
Patriots,
Win.
Jets.
Loss.
Good. You're not insane. Browns.
Win.
That's crazy. Commanders.
Win.
Okay, these are their away opponents.
See, that's 7 already, man.
That's insane. Away opponents: Chiefs,
Loss.
Chargers.
This one's tough for me, but
Just too hard to win twice.
it is. But I mean, it's the Chargers are so dependent on. All right, let's give them a loss here because they're gonna
Okay.
sweep somebody in the division. Let's just say it's the Raiders.
All right, so then the Raiders, they beat
Yes.
the Bears.
Loss.
The Broncos lose to the Bears.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
All right, that's a list.
They win 11
Detroit.
games, but
Detroit.
they lose to the Bears.
Yeah.
Wait, you heard it here first.
Oh shit.
Detroit.
Man. Detroit. Oh God. I might not get to 11 here.
Come on, lost to the Lions.
I don't know. All right, let's just say lost to the Lions.
Bills,
Loss.
Dolphins.
Win.
Really, they beat the Dolphins. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then Texans.
Win.
You got them at 10.
10.
That's still a lot of wins for the Broncos.
I think they can do it though.
All right. So we're under. You're over.
Yes.
All right. Chiefs at 11.5. I'm going to say. I think 12 games is hard in the NFL. I'm going to say over. I'll say they'll get 12, but I might need to look at the schedule.
Yeah, I'm going to say over here too.
Yeah.
Over. I don't think we need to look
All
at
right.
the schedule. I think it happens.
12 it is, or
Yeah.
more than 11.
I'm looking at their schedule. It actually is a fairly tough schedule, but I think they beat Denver twice, could beat Denver twice, beat Green Bay. They'll split with the Chargers, let's say. I think they beat the Raiders at least once, beat the Dolphins, beat the Bears, beat the Lions.
Yeah.
You skipped the Bills.
Well, okay, because I'm saying let's say
Like
we can
teams-
argue that game, right?
They actually have a really tough schedule.
Yes,
they have a tough schedule,
Ooh,
but they have throttle the Eagles.
Who would have thought?
throttle the Bengals?
Who would have thought that the Super Bowl champions have a tough schedule?
Well, yeah, but even looking at these teams, there are some teams that are going to be better than they were last year that you're not expecting to. Like,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like the Jets, of course, are going to be a better team, and they didn't finish as a good team last year. So
I think you get a win here.
I don't think they beat the
That's
Bengals.
2. No, but you get a win, one win at least out of these 2. That's 1.
oh man,
A win out of these 2. That's 2.
I feel like am I the only one that feels like the Bengals?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we still got 2 games to go.
I think I'm gonna go under. I think I'm gonna go 11.
Am I the only one that honestly thinks that the Bengals are sheep in wolves' clothing?
The Bengals,
Yeah.
a sheep in wolves' clothing.
Yeah,
so they're not good, or they're like timid, or whatever you mean.
I don't know. I don't. I feel like they've been playing above their heads.
They own the Chiefs. They're like 4-1 against the Chiefs. They just fortified their line by getting Orlando Brown, which, by the way, they took from
yeah, but
the
they
Chiefs.
lost their other best lineman.
Did they lose him, or does he want out?
No, they lost.
They lost.
To
him.
who?
Gone.
By the way, do you guys know that the Steelers traded today for
Yeah.
Allen Robinson?
Hey, Rob.
Oh,
Hey,
big whoop. I think
until
the-
he's a wide receiver 3. Although
Okay.
that might have actually spelled the end of, and not because Allen Robinson is a replacement for Deontay Johnson. I just know that Deontay is unhappy and it's
Yeah.
possibly moving
I expect-
Pickens to a wide receiver 1
Yeah.
and
then they
A-Rob
trade-
wide receiver
and they
2.
trade
Deontay.
Yeah.
All right, the Chargers at 9.5 wins. 9.5.
Going under.
How many?
Depends. If Eckler goes,
Mm.
Hmm.
I see them as like a 6-win team.
Wow, you think they?
If Eckler stays, I see them at 9.
Yeah, so either way, it's under, and that's what I would like. I would say this is a team that stretches to get to 10 with everybody and their team healthy,
Yeah.
and I don't think those are given. So I'm going to go under.
I think I'm gonna go over. I don't know why I like the Chargers so much, but I'll take them at 10 wins. Their schedule looks pretty winnable.
All right, well, let's go through it then.
All right.
There's 2 unders and an over here.
Home opponents. Home opponents first. We're gonna go with the Broncos. Keep your win totals in your head. Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Bills, Dolphins, Bears, Lions, Cowboys, Ravens. Those are their home opponents. Now we got road. Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Patriots, Jets, Packers, Vikings, and Titans. I might have them at 11.
I have them at like 5 to 8.
I
5
have
to
them
8.
Stretching.
I have them between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
I think they beat the Titans. I think they beat the Vikings and the Packers.
Yeah.
I think they beat the Patriots.
They have a chance to beat the Patriots.
They
yeah.
beat the Ravens.
I think.
I don't think they
I
do.
think
they
I think
beat the
if
Ravens.
Lamar comes back
He will. I think he's going to come back.
with OBJ and Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews and J.K. back, like I think people are sleeping on
know what?
how good the Ravens are.
I think the Ravens could beat the Chargers because the Ravens are a run first team and clock management has been the downfall of the Chargers. So that makes them a 10-win team for me.
I hate the Ravens worse than any team in the NFL, but
except for the Panthers for some reason.
Well, no, I dislike the Panthers. I hate the Ravens.
Yeah.
But people are sleeping on them. Like if Lamar comes back and he is Lamar in any form, that team scares the piss out of me.
It's not a bad receiving core either, and their tight ends are good too. If they're healthy.
I mean, OBJ at the very least is a great number 2, which I would say Bateman is. I like Andrews. I love JK, a healthy JK. I love Gus Bus. Like I just think it's a good team.
There are so many teams on there that are potential traps too, and I don't care what you want to say, but if you look at the blueprint of what Jacksonville did with all of that money, Chicago is doing this offseason, and you're already looking at a team last year that was one score in games away from being a 10 to 11 win team. So now you put that money into that team. You have the playmakers that they just brought in and the 9th overall pick. Chicago's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I'm just saying.
How do we get on Chicago?
Because I saw your fingers, assholes, when the Chicago game came up.
Yeah.
And
The Bears will be competitive.
they have...
Yeah, they'll be very
They're playing
competitive.
Chicago in Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago's going to fucking tear them up. And they're playing them when? That was late in the season.
It doesn't say. That's just the schedule.
That's right.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
it
not
doesn't come out
announced
until the
yet,
week.
yeah.
Well, I'd say that the Chargers don't even have a home field advantage. So like every game's an away game. So like them being in like a, I guess in your opinion, formidable stadium, I don't think it really means much to the Chargers.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. I think they're playing.
You come
enemy
to
the
Soldier
entire
Field
time.
and tell me we don't have you shitting your pants coming in the Soldier
Well,
Field.
you were shitting your pants against the Lions when you were there.
I mean,
I don't know what you want me to do. 2
really bad calls changed the dynamic of that game, and I can still recall both of those plays. If you would like to get into that,
No,
you
please.
prick.
Can it be home field advantage when you've never
Couldn't find
lived
the button in
someplace?
time.
Wait, can it be home field advantage when you've never lived
Ooh,
someplace?
ooh.
I'm just saying.
Ooh.
I mean, it's kind of pretendish.
No, what I'm saying is Chicago has the home field advantage, not me.
Well, you kind of said it seemed like it was you.
Dude, you didn't live in.
I did live in Cleveland.
You did not live in the fucking city.
I lived in the Spaghetto, buddy. What do you think the Spaghetto
You
is?
did not, dude. You lived in like Dayton or some shit.
And the final team on this pick'em is the Raiders at 7.5. I'm going to take 7 wins. I have the under for all of these guys except for the Chargers.
I mean, you hate Derek Carr, so that
No, you
makes
took
sense.
the over on the Chiefs.
No,
wait,
I
that's
talked
not
myself
Derek
into 11
Carr. Wait,
games.
it's Garoppolo.
Yeah, they have
You're thinking,
Garoppolo.
Yeah, but you hate Garoppolo because
I don't hate Garoppolo.
You hate everybody that's better looking than
No,
you.
I am the good looking one on this panel, not Jimmy Garoppolo. Me. It's me. I'm him.
Oh man.
I'm him.
Oh Jesus.
I mean, I'm not going to deny
This
he's
looks
younger
like-
than us.
This looks like an implosion, though.
Probably better looking. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I got 7 wins. What say you guys? I mean, I'm not hearing a lot.
It's because of it's the genre that he's appealing to. It's little lady boys.
No. I didn't know what lady boys were until you brought them up, Mark. I'm just going to, for the record.
Raiders 7.5. You went under.
I did.
I'm going under.
I really need to look at theirs.
I got
their
here for
schedule
you.
because I'm having a hard time here.
Their home. Oh, you got the same thing. Go
Yeah.
ahead. So their home opponent. I mean, say for the listeners at home.
Yeah, so we got
Home opponents
Home
first.
opponents are the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Jets, the Packers,
They could be 0-4 if this was how the schedule went. By the way,
the Patriots, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Giants. That's home.
I got 3 wins.
Oh, so do I. But
Yeah.
there's 3 very close games there too.
Yeah.
You're saying what? Pats, Steelers, Giants.
The close games: Giants, Vikings, Jets.
I have them beating the Broncos, the Packers, and the Vikings.
Okay.
That's
So
what I
the
have 'em
away games.
possibly beating. Away, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Bears, Bills, Dolphins, Lions, Colts.
They might be a 5-win team for
They
me.
are a 5-win team.
That sucks,
Yeah,
man.
so
It's their
I-
defense and their offensive line
You
that
know what?
really holds it back.
Screw you. How dare you guys? I will not do this to Jimmy G. They
Dude,
are going to win.
I know you don't
They're going to
want
win
to.
8 games.
I've never seen
I'm going
you
over.
so loyal to a.
I'm
a
going
man.
over. I'm going over. 8 wins. They're going to throttle the Bears. They're going to beat the Broncos once. They're going to beat the Chargers once. They're beating Green Bay.
I can have them.
They're beating the Patriots.
I can have them at 6
They're
wins.
beating the Vikings. They're beating the Giants and the Colts. 8 wins. Jimmy G,
Man.
I can see best case scenario 7 wins.
chef kiss.
Jimmy G. When the looks fade, when football's behind you,
Rocky still got you.
when the ladies are not beating down your door anymore, just know you can come to Claremont, Florida, and Rocky has got a special spot picked out.
It's a moist spot.
And I bet it is. In his basement, filled with duct tape.
Yeah, I'm going to go 8. I'm going to go 8.
And
I
Old
believe.
English.
I believe the Raiders. I don't believe in Josh though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a good coach.
I think
though.
he's probably the worst coach, but I think that's the show, right? We've been talking for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah.
probably the show.
So, if Jimmy Garoppolo ever is in Claremont, Florida, you're taking him out to the town.
Yeah, 100%.
Jimmy would love Claremont.
Yeah, I think
Cool
Jimmy
vibe.
would be a fun hang, right? He'd be a fun guy to hang out with.
Well, of course he would.
Dude, you wipe the
right?
like saliva off your lips, dude. Foaming at the mouth over
I mean,
there.
Jimmy G. If Jimmy G comes to Claremont, no matter where he goes,
Get him some Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
every
Bribe
lady,
him.
Yeah.
every lady capable of driving in Claremont is going to show up wherever Jimmy G's at.
well, that's not a good. That's
I mean,
not a good
including
demographic.
all 4 of our, well,
any-
including Phil, all 4 of our women would, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
There's a
Mara
reason-
would happen to be packing a hammock for some reason.
No,
I just heard.
No, I think
felt
Samara-
like chicken today.
Samara's top 5, I think, are Joe Burrow. Jimmy Garoppolo is probably on there, probably low. She also talks about Jalen Hurts sometimes.
Mike Vick.
I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head. I think that's probably, or that's her Mount Rushmore.
Jalen Hurts,
Yeah,
Joe Burrow,
it's more Joe Burrow.
Patrick Mahomes.
I remember we were watching.
I bet you it's Kirk Cousins too. I bet you he's in there.
I've said this before on the show, but we will watch TikToks together. Like we'll screen mirror and like watch it on our like TV, and then it'll be like shopping video, vacation video, vacation video, vacation video. Joe Burrow thirst trap. I'm like, what the hell? Like, where did this come from? So
Yeah, it's
so I
funny.
know.
Like I don't find Joe like. He's just an average guy.
I think he's just got swag and he's
average white guy.
got baby face.
Got some
probably
money,
like that.
a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's her, Selena.
You.
I don't think anyone is
Selena.
a Selena to anyone besides. Yeah. Hey, that's the show. Please comment, like,
Please.
subscribe. Let us know how we did. Let us know if our takes are bad, good, or anything in between. Follow us on GON Podcast on basically everything, especially on TikTok and Instagram. Por favor, and that is it. Correct?
Oh shit! Getting multilingual.
Yeah. Whoa. I'm Phil.
Hey, goodbye. We
Yeah,
love
Phil-
you.
Phil
Peace.
doesn't know Spanish.
Peace.